weeks now, but
So if I just look down and I'll read, if I just read, that's why I just did that. So today we're gathering to honor Gary Wanner, a husband, a father, grandpa, uncle, and a friend. I've finished life chores assigned to me. The time has come to set me free. Please send along my fishing pole, as I've been invited to the fishing hole. Don't worry or feel sad for me. On a lake is right where I want to be. And when it comes to my last cast, I humbly pray, when in the Lord's safety landing net, I'm peacefully asleep, that in His mercy I be judged big enough to keep. So just remember why I'm missing. I've gone fishing. So I'm going to start the sharing time by telling you some of my own memories. And as I thought about Gary, my memories, things kept coming to mind, these same words, and it was this man by choice. Because this man by choice was in my life. He invited us into his home. He made additions onto it to accommodate us, and he chose to be there for us. He didn't have to be. He didn't have to be. And so I feel like one day it was just, I was his family. And after that day, I never felt anything but his family. He never made me feel different, or as a stepchild. I always felt like I was his and treated the same. You know, as a preteen, I was defiant sometimes, and Gary was new and thought he was kind of a pain in the ass with all his rules, obviously. But you know, that's just, God works like that. And just when you think something's a pain in the ass, it's exactly what you needed. I couldn't imagine what my life would be like without him. And I feel blessed, privileged, and honored that God chose me for Gary to be in my life. So, I chose him for a groomsman for my wedding. Couldn't think of anybody else that could possibly fill that spot better than he did. And Grandpa always knew the answers to all James's nature questions. He was a good grandpa. Let him crawl all over him and countless hours on the patio, drinking tea. Gary was my parts master. I even had a button in my car, and I would push it, and it would call Gary. Every time I had a question about anything, my situation usually wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And he talked me through it. And even my quirkiness, he understood my personality, and we worked well together. I'm forever grateful for that. You know, this man of choice came home every day after work. He was dedicated to his family. No one ever had to wonder where Gary was. Unless we were out Beef Fest, of course. And the silly side of Gary, one of the memories I guess that's most talked about between us four girls is the ski bob. And we would go so fast behind that boat and so wild. And as an adult, I learned he only had a 25 horsepower motor. But he sure made it seem like we were going so fast and having so much fun. And the one time with the spaghetti, Gary flings the fork full of spaghetti at Mom, and we're all like, whoa, what's going to happen now? But she flung him back, and then the six of us had a good old spaghetti fight with our carpeted dining room. And we always remember whipping shitties with the 62. It's like, hey, Mom, we're going to go whip shitties with the 62. So we did. We were certain he was a werewolf for most of our childhood, and he played that part very well. He had really big speakers when I first met him. I thought he was really cool like that, and he always played leader of the pack. And that's what he was. He was the leader of our pack. And whether you could see it from the outside or not, it was what Gary said was the way it was, and we were okay with it. No one ever argued, and we trusted that he'd make our right decisions. There's very few people in this world, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that didn't like Gary. He was just respectful. He didn't have any kind of selfishness in him. And, he spoke his mind, but he always did it fairly and justly. And he knew what he wanted. He knew what he liked. And he knew it worked well for him. One thing Gary wanted was a lake home, and it was Mom and Gary's dream to have one. And Gary spent every night for a year after working on weekends building that lake home. And even when a big event justified a break, Gary was on a mission, and when he started something, he always finished it. And he always did it really well. Gary's mottos were, don't sweat the small stuff. Welcome to the real world. And if it feels good, do it. And I feel like that's why he lived his life, by those mottos. And I would have did anything for Gary. I trusted him 100%. And I am so grateful that he fathered me I mean, he fathered us, and he loved you. I was just forever grateful for you. So if anyone else wants to share, now would be a good time. Oh, Mom said no tits and booze. Don't say tits and booze. And speaking of tits and booze, no. Mom's having everyone over after this Wanner house at Oak Point. We got some food there and probably some brandy. So if anybody wants to come, that'd be good.
Okay. Got a story? Billy?
I'll do it. Okay.
Brenda, you're the reason I said that.
I'm not telling that story. Otherwise. So I was honored and privileged to be a matron of honor on the day Diamond Turner got married. And we had blast. It was a champagne flight there and back. Louder? Oh. It was a champagne flight there and back. And once we got back, it was a champagne flight till I don't remember what happened. But it was very much of an honor for me and my late husband John. And it was awesome. But I thought, I've got a zillion members. Gary, he is the most wonderful man. But one of them I've been thinking about lately is frying chicken in the Blue Rise Ballroom in Mom and Dad's garage. And me and Gary would be up between 3 o'clock in the morning, and we'd put the chicken in and out, we'd get the next batch ready, and then we'd sit and have coffee and have the best talks ever. He was a wise, wise man. But he gave me a lot of shit too. But for that, I love him.
Pam and I, we each have one thing that I wanted to bring up. When I first met Gary, he's really into spearing, big time. And I don't know, for some reason, I remember there must have been like the first winter we knew him or something. He pulls in my yard and he has like this 20-some pound northern laying in the back of his pickup.
It's on our wall.
Yeah, he's apparently got a number of them. And I was like, holy shit. And then Pam's thing was, he always had that poker, poking the fires, he'd bring it up camping, whenever he'd cook with it.
When you come over tonight, there's a picture of him with a spear, by the fire on the mantle.
Yeah, I know. Did you get a number of them big northerns?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He really into the spearing, so there were a couple things that I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta keep the family going here, because after, there's none of us left, so somebody else is there, but, some of the memories I have of Jerry is, oh my gosh, he was our go-to. He was our mechanic, he was our, like, oh, can you use the grinder? How about this deer? How do you cut this up? What about this piece of meat? But as a mechanic, we call him all the time for stupid things, and he might kill me because he doesn't know how to say this, but it wasn't too long ago we called him, we had just bought this pickup, and we were coming down Highway 10 on the way home from Bluffton, and it died on the side of the road. And we're like, what the heck? We just bought this pickup, we had a half a tank of gas, and we just can't figure out what's going on. So we called Gary, and what could all these possibilities be? And Dan Walter actually came to our rescue and came out and I said, just bring gas just in case that might be it. Well, he did, but they finally pulled it, they got it to the repair shop, and it was gas. So Gary fixed it, he just told us, right? He put some gas in it. But he also was really good to my boys. Jacob learned a lot from him. He did a demo derby car, and Keith spent a lot of hours learning about what they did there too with him, because he'd always go along with Jacob everywhere Jacob went as a youngster. So that was really special for us. And then I have one other story, and it doesn't involve tits and boobs, but it kind of is on that. So I'm sorry. But one night it was a snowstorm, just a massive snowstorm when we were with Diane and Gary. And Gary and John had this idea that we should really go to Amor because they had strippers there and they'd never been there. So Diane and I decided, okay, we'll drive in this storm, we're not the drinkers, so we're gonna drive them to see these strippers. So we drove all the way to Amor, and when we got there, the strippers didn't make it because of the weather. So Mary's still gonna get to see Amor. So I'm sorry, but that's some of my
I'm doing a whole different deal here on the things you probably don't know about. Dan and I had the privilege a week ago to go get Gary from St. Cloud and bring him to Fern, because Diane hadn't seen him for 24 days. So we picked him up and he was pretty happy to get out of there, let me tell you, he was happy. He'd have went out without his shoes on, but he said, we better put shoes on, it's cold. So we got in the truck and he knew he was sick, he knew he was very sick, but he made it home. We got to Fern and he was exhausted, totally exhausted. So I helped him out of the truck, I hung on to him, he hung on to me, and we did a little dance around to get in the wheelchair. It's the last time we saw him, but it's a memory that we won't forget. It was awesome, just him seeing Diane for that first time in all those days. He really needed that, so. We had lots of other memories that were oldies, but we can't get into those things, Jackie.
Or Jared.
too much dicks and boobs.
We used to do a family camping trip every year, pretty much all of this year. And, yeah, it was fun. It was so much fun. I'm gonna have to find someone's camper this year, else I can't go. Okay, Rhonda.
My first memory of Gary, I mean, goes way back, I still remember him, and I'm with Eric, and he just always made everybody feel so wonderful, so loved. But our demo derby covers Erica for her feather dusting. That was, Eric and I wanted to do this demo derby so bad, and all our parents were like, nobody's going to do a car for you. But Gary stepped up. Gary said, I will make you girls a fire. And he got a little crazy, but he backed us. Gary, how are you? Yep. That's all I ever got from Gary was, yep. And then he gave me a hug. Christmas socks. Just mailed him socks right before Christmas, before his surgery this year. But yeah, he will be very missed. Camping will be the same without his closure.
Even though he just sat there and looked at all of us.
He
And he just in his chair smiled.
I never felt judged, I just felt very loved.
Yeah, he got to speak. He didn't judge anybody. Anybody else? Billy, you must have one. You two are so much alike.
For people to feel like we could understand. Jacob, can we see what you have on your feet today?
So you know the socks
I
again.
noticed the silly socks I had in my drawer.
Here was all those silly socks. The silly socks. He wore those Christmas socks that he got to the hospital for his surgery, and he said the nurses just loved it. Santa Claus stuff, yeah.
He wore your Christmas socks.
And flannel shirts, if you watch the video, there's a lot of flannel shirts in that video.
Well, I'll say something. I'm Trinette. I'm Gary's, one of Gary's daughter's best friends in 35, how many years here. I just remember being at Diane Gary's house and just playing and hanging out and him just being there chilling. One happy girls in one bathroom with everybody.
Yeah.
And Blue Rise Small Room, that was my home away from home for quite a while on weekends with all the weddings, and Jackie and I would get in trouble in the kitchen, having pickle races on the wall. And throw our hamburger pickles and see who would race first, because we were more than the So, but yeah, Gary was a great guy, and just always there for everybody. So we're gonna miss him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who we're gonna call when we have stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know who I could, I don't know who we're gonna call when we have stuff.
Don't call me, I don't know nothing.
I don't know when have stuff.
I do nothing. Don't call me, I don't know nothing.
Well, all around, I think we agree that he was a good guy. loved him or how much we needed him. I wish that I could tell them that. And so if any of you have somebody that you don't tell all the time, make sure that they know how important and how loved they are.
My love story goes this goes around and this is very sorely meant from that empire, but throw way back to the Roman. Oh boy. When the first 21, very third, I like red wine, and he kept feeding them to me all day long. He used to say my name was much shorter than most others. From then on, Gary, every time he saw me, would say red wine. And every time I would hear the radio, I would call my aunt Gary. Always makes me think of him now.
Yeah. Okay, here. Was it gonna be the truth? I want to know first.
Great moments in time with you. I think it was about 5 years ago when we got invited up to the Terrace Farm. Keep the number out there. Geez, bright and early. Maybe 10 o'clock. But we're putting in, this is the dilapidated farm, we're repairing it apart, trying to salvage some wood and whatnot. Sure enough, around and look up and Gary's there supervising, smoking a cigarette, telling us we're doing it wrong. And I don't know, I suppose about 15 minutes later, we look back up, and Gary's back up on the lawn, ripping himself apart himself. Just kind of able to hang out. Yeah, we did the Soda Creek.
Deer Creek.
The Million Soda Creek for
Deer
lunch.
Creek Bar.
Couple of years. Came back out, worked all afternoon, and then lo and behold, Gary showed us the rest of the farm, the house, a few more beers. Yeah, we all just spent the night up there. It was very done this morning, poured apart the car some water. Much slower. Much slower. But it's a really cool moment in time.
Yeah.
So.
Stories, kids? Grandkids on this farm? It's okay. We got lots of them. I know.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to smoke. Does anybody else have anything to share? Otherwise, we'll let Teresa say it. She's going to sing it, Mom. You are researching.
Oh, you can say now?
Yeah.
I sure will.
I don't know.
Just finish it up.
Hey, my family really needs some help with the plants. Yeah, well.
Well, thanks everyone for coming, and Diane asked me if I'd sing a little song, so I'm going to start, and if you would like to join in, it would be wonderful if you wanted to join in, okay? So, whatever you like. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear
lead through many dangers, toils and snares. We have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home. And grace will lead us home. We love you very much, Carrie.
My kids will have that.